Okay, my name is Sheri, and what I'm about to tell you is the story of my life. This is completely ad-libbed. I don't have anything written down. I'm doing this all by memory. I'm doing this in order to help someone out there in the big, bad world that might identify with me and have been where I've been, and to know that everything can be okay. One way or another, it's going to be okay. First of all, to tell you about my childhood. My childhood was horrific. I don't remember a lot of it, but what I do remember are not good memories at all. In fact, I have only a couple of good memories. All the rest are horrendous memories. And I'm sorry, I have a little dog that's running around here, could possibly start barking. My earliest memory is when I was a little girl, tiny, probably about 5, and I obviously had a bedwetting problem, or would wet my pants for whatever reason, I don't know. But my mother couldn't stand it, and so she put me in a diaper, a regular cloth diaper, and took all of my clothes off. Just here I am, about 6 years old, probably 5. And she put me in a cloth diaper and put me out in the backyard. This was in Baltimore, Maryland. We lived on a cul-de-sac, and at the end of this cul-de-sac, it was a round ball. We were like on one side, and it had a chain link fence in the back, but the whole alley went around. And you could very easily see other houses. So when I went when she pushed me out in the backyard, of course I was extremely humiliated, beyond belief, extremely humiliated. She had informed my little brother, who was 18 months younger than me, to go and get his friends and to come and make fun of me because I was out there in a diaper. So he proceeded to go and get his little buddies, and of course she was yelling, inviting everybody to come and make fun of me. And I saw people looking out their windows and opening up their back doors to see what this lunatic lady was yelling in the back of her yard, which people didn't see her as a lunatic. People thought she was the sweetest, greatest mother of all, and she was nothing like that. But I remember just climbing up on the exterior air conditioner that we had, one of the big air conditioning units. I remember climbing up on top of that and just closing my eyes and huddle, almost in a fetal position. I just wanted to cuddle up and hide so nobody could see me. I heard everything. I heard them yelling. I heard them laughing at me. I heard them making fun of me. But I just curled up in the ball and pretend to be invisible. That was the first time, I think, that I learned to disassociate, to remove myself from my body. I don't remember clearly how it all happened, but I remember leaving my body. And that was the beginning of my coping mechanisms. Second early memory is in that same house in Baltimore, Maryland, where I was afraid of the dark, and my mother had gone out, and we had a babysitter, and I was afraid of the dark, and I asked her to leave the light on, and the babysitter said, well, I can leave the light on, but it's too bright. So she put one of my pajama tops over top of the shade, and now I'm 51 years old, so this was a long time ago. But she put one of my pajama shirts and laid it over the top of the bulb, and that covered it enough to where there wasn't a whole lot of light in the room, and that maybe I could go to sleep. Well, I remember being awakened in the middle of that night with my mother yelling at me, saying, What are you thinking? What are you doing? And she jerked me out of bed. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. And it had burnt my pajama top. It had burnt it. I was quite shocked. I didn't do it, and I tried to tell her it wasn't me, but of course my mother was spanking me and wasn't paying any attention to what I was saying. Everything was me. She was angry with me for some reason from day one. I think it may go back to her anger towards my real father, and that I was the reason they had to get married because she got pregnant with me. I was the first child, and then my brother was born 18 months later behind me. But those are the earliest two memories that I have at this moment, in this time. The next memory that I have is packing everything up in a U-Haul and leaving everything, leaving friends, leaving my father, who I remember going to see my dad. He was very, very loving. He would get us things. I remember he bought us a pair of skates, me and my brother, and we roller skated on the sidewalk. But she put us in I don't even remember what it was, a Rambler or some station wagon or something. And I remember there being a U-Haul trailer, and she moved us clear across the United States. And I didn't understand why we were going, where we were going. And on the way there, she said she had met somebody and that we were going to go meet them in Tucson, Arizona. I had no clue where Tucson, Arizona was. I was 5, 6 years old at the time. But it was a very long drive. I remember that. When we got to Tucson, we went to a motel. I vaguely remember going to a motel. And then I remember meeting this man at a gas station. A restaurant. And I didn't understand the events. I didn't understand how they were happening or what. I would later find out. But all I knew is that what I knew as a life completely stopped. And that now I was at this place called Tucson, Arizona, and I didn't know what was going to happen, what we were going to do. I didn't know who this man was. I knew nothing. I was just scared. So let me back up a couple more memories, or at least one memory came back. Apparently I was going up a slide, the metal slides, and you had the base of the slide, and then the slide would go down like this. Well, there was a gap right there where this came out and this part started. There was a gap. Well, all of us were running up the back. My friends and I were running the slide. We were going up the side. Instead of sliding down, we were climbing up. Well, I had gotten almost to the top, and my foot slipped, and I hit my chin, and it busted my chin open right across here. In fact, I still have a scar right there. It did take stitches. I remember my mother was so angry with me because I had gotten my chin busted open because I shouldn't have been going up the back. And there was no compassion for me whatsoever. There was no, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you okay? It was yell, yell, yell. You shouldn't have done that. You're wasting my time. This is money I don't have, da, da, da. Anyway, so I'm going to stop right here. And we're going to start with the beginning of the life in Tucson in my next video. There's a long way to go, but I feel it's very important to hit every little thing that I can remember, because my short-term memory is not good, and that comes with some more things that happen later on in life. So I'm going to end this one right now, and I look forward to talking to you the next time we meet.